What's going on, humans? My name is David, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Democratic candidates for president because I think there's only one, and so I want to shut down the other, I don't know, infinite number of people that are actually running because this picture doesn't depict everything. It's out of date. Kamala Harris dropped out, and we don't see Mayor Bloomberg in here, but we don't need to see him. So, the only person who can beat Donald Trump is Bernie Sanders. Out of all these people running, most of these guys are a joke. Elizabeth Warren's kind of serious. Joe Biden is obviously serious because he was the vice president, but the guy's crazy. Bernie Sanders is the one guy who will beat Donald Trump. He would have beat him in 2016 if the DNC didn't ruin his chances and didn't kind of like push him off to the side so that Hillary Clinton could win. I don't know why they forced Hillary on us. She wasn't a viable candidate, and I said that a long time ago. I think in May or April of 2016, I told people on my Facebook, which I don't have a lot of people because I don't use Facebook a lot. I told them that if Bernie Sanders isn't our nominee, Donald Trump will be the president of the United States. And it happened. The same thing will happen again. None of these guys will beat Donald Trump except for Bernie Sanders, because none of them will bring out the support that Bernie Sanders has, because that support is kind of invisible to the media. The media doesn't cover him. Joe Biden, if you've watched the debates at all, he just looks like a confused old man. He's a nice guy. I lived in Delaware, worked in where he's from in Hockessin, and he's a nice guy, but he is beyond his years. He doesn't see reality, even in the sense that Republicans do. It's just it's like a rainbow candy show. He's so confused every time he talks. So we need to get Joe Biden out, even though he's the most popular candidate so far in polls most of the time. Elizabeth Warren, in 2016, I actually really liked Elizabeth Warren, and I wanted Elizabeth Warren to basically be vice president for Bernie Sanders. I thought that was the ticket that would have been the best for the country and would have, stomped Donald Trump. I don't know how much Elizabeth Warren would have actually made a difference in the ticket, but I liked her a lot. And going into this election, I actually supported her. I was living in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the beginning of it. Now I'm in Northern California, but I actually went to one of her town halls in North Las Vegas, and I listened to her, watched the first debate. Still really liked her, but from the second debate forward, if not the first debate, but at least from the second debate forward, she just seems completely fake. She's like a Muppet, just repeating words and dodging things she doesn't want. She doesn't think people want to hear. Like, you're going to raise taxes. Yeah, you're going to raise taxes, but you're going to reduce costs far more than taxes, right? And she just won't say it. Bernie says it. When it comes to Medicare for all, Bernie's the guy to believe. Elizabeth Warren, she doesn't even believe it anymore. She doesn't want to pass it until the third year of her potential presidency. That's not what we want. That's not what we're voting for here. And basically, every other candidate, actually, I don't want to say every other candidate, Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard are fairly progressive. Andrew Yang is progressive, very progressive in when it comes to like the economy. He's very progressive in thinking about automation and robots and AI and how it's going to replace very simple jobs that we do. And if you have gone into most fast food restaurants in most of the places, and I'm speaking about Las Vegas and California because that's where I've experienced it. But you know, Taco Bell and McDonald's, they have computers that you can order from, so you don't even have to talk to a human to get your food until someone actually like walks it up to the front. But how long is it going to take before that whole process is automated? So Andrew Yang is very progressive when it comes to economics and the economy, and how humans are going to be replaced by computers and AI. Pete Buttigieg is a freaking idiot. Like he's not even popular where he's from. Only in the sense that the people who know him from where he's from know him, and I think they support him for that reason. Because hey, I know that guy. He was my mayor. Except that he didn't support black people. Like a black person got shot by cops in his town, and he didn't do anything about it. So this guy is just an idiot. He's being pushed by the people who are expecting Biden to fail, which because he will. Biden just sounds like an old man who's lost everything upstairs. And Pete is kind of the new white bread, except he's gay, so he has an extra ingredient that Biden didn't have, but it doesn't even matter because he's only supported by rich white liberals. Most left-leaning people don't like Pete Buttigieg. That's all I'm going to say about him. Kamala Harris already dropped out. I really liked what she said on stage. I never thought she had a chance, but I liked the topics that she brought to the table, and that kind of got into the discussion that moderators from the debates didn't bring up. Cory Booker, same thing as Kamala Harris. Lived in Delaware while he was the mayor of Newark, and then got elected to the Senate. I really like Cory Booker. I really like what he says on stage. I like the information that he brings up. He's not electable. I'm not saying keep him up there because I think he's a viable candidate. I would like to see Cory Booker stay on the stage as long as possible just so he can talk about the things he wants to talk about. I think Cory Booker is one of the people who could find themselves in the White House. Not as president, but as a part of the cabinet for Bernie Sanders. I'm not sure exactly where I would put him. Maybe the interior. Something to do with the country, education. Something. Any of the departments that have that impact people in the United States. I think he would be great there. Andrew Yang, I feel the same way about him. I think he is make him the Secretary of Commerce, and he will do great things and move the country in the right direction under Bernie Sanders. So Cory Booker, Andrew Yang, I think are both great people that Bernie Sanders can bring in to be in his administration. Maybe even Tulsi Gabbard. She has one issue, that's the military and regime change wars. So bringing her in to be a part of your cabinet that focuses on overseas negotiations or relationships, she would be great for that. So Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, and that's the last time I'm going to mention her because she's completely ridiculous, and only Bill Mayer thinks she should take a step up, along with most of the media that they pushed her. Even in this last MSNBC debate, they gave her so much time to talk, and she's just ridiculous. And Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer says, you know what? I mean, if I had my say in the next debate, Get rid of these two. We don't need Biden or Warren. We don't need Buttigieg. We don't need Klobuchar. And Kamala Harris says a lot of good things about certain um, issues like women's rights and abortions. So I would have liked to see her on the stage, but she is a senator and she dropped out to protect her position. So she's gone. But I would like to see Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, and even Tom Steyer. Like, that's the five I want to see on the stage. Put Bernie at the center, ask questions, sort of to bounce them off of these four people, their specific roles or specific issues. Andrew Yang on the economy, Cory Booker on minority rights, Tulsi Gabbard on military, Tom Steyer on the economy with Andrew Yang. Because Tom Steyer says some very smart things about what's going on. So I would like to see him, these four with Bernie Sanders. Unfortunately, the next debate's not going to be showcased that way. We're still going to see Biden and Warren, who are just completely miserable. Warren is a very smart person, but she thinks so little of actual working people, and you can feel it. Not the first time you listen to her, because the first time you listen, she sounds genuine, I guess. The second time you hear her say all the exact same stuff, you start to feel small when she's talking to you. Joe Biden is just old, confused. But that's my take on the Democratic primary in the candidates. I still believe, as I did in 2016, Bernie Sanders is the only person who will beat Donald Trump. I said it back then, I'm saying it now. And I hope that more people get on board. I know his grassroots support. If you watch his videos, there's tons of them on YouTube. And you can watch a lot of them live if you're on at the right time. They stream his events where he's going out to communities and talking to people and has people talking on his behalf. Bernie Sanders is the candidate to beat Trump. He's the best person in our lifetime so far. Obviously, can't predict the future. He's the best person running for president that we've had. I know I'm 38. I was in the military from 1998 to 2002, which was mostly under George Bush, some under Clinton, but I couldn't even vote until the 2003 election, in which Al Gore won and George Bush was president. And then 2016, Hillary Clinton won and Donald Trump is president. I mean, that's ridiculous. So, going forward, we need Bernie Sanders to win. We need him to win the primary, and he will beat Donald Trump. I guarantee it. None of these other clowns will do that. They can bring things to the table, but they're not going to beat Donald Trump. Only Bernie Sanders can. So, hashtag burn or bust. I said the same thing in 2016, and we went for bust because the DNC forced Hillary on us, so screw them. We'll bust it and go for Donald Trump. Same thing, 2020. Hashtag Bernie or bust.